It shows you things you can run and test right away. Compared to the time regular investors spend researching, this delivers results much faster. And look, the results are so neatly presented, it's an error. This entity, known as Manus or Manus, is currently being hailed as the second DeepSeek and has become a hot topic. This Manus is referred to as a legal AI agent. In essence, it means that various AI agents are interconnected to automatically handle the tasks I need. It can create a website for you. It can also design an interactive diagram or schedule tasks. It handles a wide range of activities seamlessly. Unlike traditional chatbots, you only need one prompt. It handles everything from there. For example, upload a bunch of resumes and say, pick out the good candidates. It can do that. It can also perform stock analysis, create websites, or display information on a map. It codes, displays, categorizes, and evaluates everything by itself. That's why it's currently a hot topic. To try out this mouse, you need to go in and check if you can do something with it. Currently, it's in beta testing, and you'll need an invitation code to activate it. There's a lot of discussion about this. People often wonder why an invitation code is necessary, and I believe it's because running numerous agents with LLMs requires a tremendous amount of computing power. If access were granted to everyone, the servers would probably crash. DeepSeek faced similar challenges initially, which is why it's currently being managed as a highly restricted beta service. In addition to that, there are numerous elements involved, and various issues are emerging as well. There are also reports of it being used, and now it's not about creating something entirely new with LLM, but rather combining various elements together. I'd like to share my personal thoughts on this. Initially, it became a hot topic with claims that it was possible with Manus, where multiple smartphones run applications and interact with each other, supposedly through Manus. There was a rumor that Manus supported this, but as far as I know, Manus does not support it. I believe it went viral by mistake. If I am wrong, please let me know in the comments. Instead, if you ask Manus to create a web page on your phone, it will do it by itself, browsing through Twitter and other sites. It gathers information by browsing, and while the exact speed is unclear, it autonomously collects a substantial amount of data and makes independent decisions. As you proceed and review the final results, you can observe that the test progress is fully completed, with all 15 components set up, leading to the final output. In this case, when you click with the mouse, it asks to create an interactive animation, and it just pops up right away. I have written down a detailed list to assist in my search for a new apartment. I made an attempt to find an apartment in London by incorporating the price and various other factors, and during this process, the browser. Even the task of manually clicking through and searching is now managed by AI. There are some parallels with the earlier AutoGPT, and I'll outline the distinctions between them separately. But first, let's begin with a comprehensive test. I'm planning to go to Paris next week, and even for travel planning, the AI can handle it. Of course, this is a function that existing GPT, Manus AI, and various other LLMs could perform, but it integrates different LLMs in an agent-like manner, showing the process to each other, and producing results that are more aligned with human preferences. It's important to note that this method aims to produce user-preferred results. They even released a handbook showcasing these outcomes. It seems like a lot of Tesla investors are tuning into our channel, so we analyze Tesla stock every hour. Of course, I am not entirely sure how accurate this analysis is. But for those of you who invest, having this kind of information gathered could be very helpful, do not you think? It performs directional analysis, or evaluates recent outcomes, whether through technical or fundamental analysis, and autonomously makes its own judgments, including complex methods like discounted cash flow and swap analysis. It even goes as far as providing detailed bear case and bull case scenarios on its own. Compared to the time it takes for average investors to research, it would produce results much faster. And it is said to have published papers instantly. It took a total of 47 minutes to produce a meaningful paper, which involved not only creating these figures but also presenting the results comprehensively. When I was writing papers, my professor would meticulously correct every single detail, coaching me on the right words and appropriate terms, and guiding me on how to write each letter properly. Nowadays, producing a research paper has become incredibly straightforward. However, the quality still needs to be rigorously validated. When comparing it to OpenAI's deep research, it is said to perform remarkably well. And if you explore the various use cases of Manus, you will discover that there are numerous examples available. By exploring it on your own, you'll likely find it much more impactful and engaging than just watching my video. For example, let's consider data analysis or social media sentiment research. I delved into this to showcase its capabilities. On the left side, you can observe the steps being displayed, such as creating a file or conducting a search. The data is processed quickly, and you can see the results here. By clicking on the final output, you can view the intermediate steps involved. So, if there's something wrong, you can identify what needs to be fixed. I developed this Python script for analysis, and it processes the data independently. With LLMs now capable of coding, they can produce code that aligns with the user's prompts. There's a broad range of programming languages available, from Python to various low-level languages that people can utilize. With its intuitive and interactive user interface and user experience, programming becomes straightforward, and it can produce engaging, interactive results. Right now, you are observing how it explains the concept of momentum. It autonomously collects information, including YouTube videos and other sources, enabling us to understand the principles interactively. Essentially, it creates that interactive experience for us. In the past, when we were young, we used to watch recorded videos or EBS broadcasts using classroom equipment, but now there's no need for that. Everything can be downloaded and accessed immediately. When you open this, you'll notice that everything is already set up and ready for use. This was generated using a single prompt, allowing you to directly run and test various aspects like its size and speed. Nowadays, whether you're tutoring at school or studying at home, you can easily handle these tasks yourself. Pretty impressive, right? So, what are some real-world examples? These have been meticulously crafted, showcasing the advanced capabilities of AI in creating such content. In the past, each of these could have been a standalone business idea, and many people actually built businesses around them. But now, AI just generates these effortlessly. There are a host of other fascinating topics to explore, so I encourage you to check them out. For example, there's an in-depth analysis of Tesla stock, which I briefly highlighted earlier. Now, you might remember AutoGPT, which gained fame for its ability to seamlessly combine and execute multiple tasks at once. So what makes Manus stand out? And why is it attracting so much attention right now? First and foremost, it seems that Manus does not possess its own proprietary model developed in-house. Based on the current discussions, it seems that Manus integrates various LLMs, such as Anthropic's Claude series and Alibaba's open model QN. This approach allows Manus to distribute tasks effectively by leveraging the strengths of each model, creating a unified system for diverse functionalities. AutoGPT primarily relies on the GPT API, such as GPT-4, provided by OpenAI, functioning as an open-source tool. On the other hand, Manus AI, as previously mentioned, integrates multiple models like Claude and QN into a single system. As I mentioned earlier, Manus requires an invitation code for access. This code isn't readily available to everyone, likely due to the significant computing resources needed, which prevents them from handling an influx of users. This exclusivity has likely made it more appealing and helped it gain viral traction, creating a bit of a higher entry barrier. It feels like a limited edition, right? It can do everything from podcast editing to generating business cards. These are all just business items, aren't they? There are many people in business, and it's shocking that it can create them directly. You need to combine multiple LLMs for this. So, by implementing agents as proxy models, these tasks become entirely feasible. There was a time when AI competition was fierce, but now we've entered an era where combining these efforts yields impressive results. Isn't 2025 known as the era of Agent AI? This is like the second DeepSeek incident. For a variety of tasks like resume screening, stock analysis, website creation, and business card design, it would be great to bring these into a multi-agent system. Even if I do not develop my own model, I would like to offer this service. Although some believe this might be overly hyped, our focus is not only on the capabilities of Manus itself, but also on how it stands up against other top-tier models like Gaia Bench. We can see that Manus AI scores significantly higher compared to OpenAI's deep research. Benchmarks aren't everything, but it's very competitive. While the emergence of Manus AI at this point is noteworthy, it's crucial for us to keep an eye on the broader trends and observe how they are developing over time. AutoGPT certainly grabbed attention, but the spotlight should be on agent models, and the key question of whether they can actually generate profits. The advent of such innovations really makes you think. Wow, AI is really changing the world. How exactly is it doing that? For example, companies that used to perform these tasks could lose their competitive edge. Isn't that really scary? Companies with just a name might see revenue drop. Various changes could happen. People studying stocks might just use this. There are various ways to improve its usage, and opinions differ on this matter. Some media outlets, such as TechCrunch, argue that using tools like QN or Anthropic's Claude does not offer a competitive advantage. While TechCrunch is a well-known tech publication, I believe it is not fair to evaluate it that way because the agent... This era is about how well we use various LLMs. It's not about making the best model or developing something independently. Personally, I think focusing on that is not the right approach. My opinion could be wrong, so please share your thoughts. Anyway, they used various technologies together, even though they couldn't develop their own AI model. Does it really matter? What truly stands out is that it managed to generate outstanding results. These kinds of things might become the mainstream in the future. Some people have asked, whether it's OpenAI or another company, if the real money-making side isn't actually in agentic models, since creating large language models requires a massive number of API calls. The truth is, both sides are making good money. What matters is achieving productivity efficiently. Naturally, there are ongoing concerns given that this was launched in China. Starting with the concern that all personal data might be transferred to Chinese servers, there are various issues, which are partly political and social. China will need to address these issues independently, but one thing is clear: the advancements in their AI technology have been incredibly impressive and cannot be overlooked. But on Reddit, there are many reports that it does not work well. So it seems that implementing an agent model correctly from the start is not an easy task. You need to call the API and produce some results accordingly, but now there's a possibility that the server might suddenly become overloaded. Even without server overload, there might be significant limitations in the model's configuration. So instead of interpreting the shared failures as evidence that it doesn't work well, it's important to recognize that these attempts are ongoing. While the US is leading the way, China is also pushing hard, publishing a vast number of AI papers. Whenever there is an announcement in the US, it often features many engineers of Chinese origin. And when I talk about Chinese AI, people keep calling me pro-Chinese. I am not bringing this up because of my background, but rather to provide you with information about the latest trends in AI technology. Since I am originally from Daehyun-dong in Namgu, Busan, please do not mistake me for being Korean Chinese. It is quite frustrating to be labeled that way when I am clearly Korean. Anyway, to wrap things up, let's move on.